today there was the announcement that the White House is going to be holding its third stablecoin meeting set for tomorrow at 9 a.m. Eastern. Oh, that was today. Yes, today. With a small crypto and banking delegation expected to attend. Okay, so that came out last night, I think. Today, we will be seeing hopefully some news about the White House giving us a little bit more guidance or figuring out what they want to do with stablecoins and for the Clarity Act.
Did you see the poly market for that?
No, what's the poly market going on?
For the Clarity Act passing in 2026,
Oh,
jumped up to 7. Oh, now it's at 82%.
oh, 82% chance, y'all.
Well, not a fan of poly market, but the numbers you got to look at.
That was still a news headline. So Senator Warren tells the Fed and Treasury that she does not want there to be a bailout for crypto billionaires. Basically, she urged the Treasury Department and the Federal Reserve to not use taxpayer dollars to bail out cryptocurrency billionaires and other highly leveraged cryptocurrency investors. She wrote to Secretary Scott Bessent and Fed Chair Jerome Powell as Bitcoin has continued to slide since hitting a high that it had in October. So, um, yeah, so there was like a World Liberty Financial Forum that was hosted on the same day at the President's Mar-a-Lago Club. And I'm just a little bit confused by what she's asking for exactly.
That was my
Um,
confusion too. Like, what does she even say? What does she mean?
yeah, so I don't know if the letter is public or not. I'm not sure. Maybe it is. So I haven't fully seen exactly what she said, but I think what she's basically saying is like, so yeah, she said ultimately any government intervention to stabilize Bitcoin would disproportionately benefit crypto billionaires. So I guess she's talking about like the US buying crypto for its the strategic reserve.
Okay.
I'm guessing that's what she's talking about.
And so she thinks the cascading effect of that and the assets appreciating is bailing them out.
I guess so.
Interesting.
Yeah. I mean, I initially when I saw the headline, I just laughed because I was just like, what exactly is she talking about?
Mm-hmm.
But I think with the extra nuance of there being this idea of a strategic reserve, which I don't necessarily know that it's being mentioned, right? Like it's definitely not in this article. So I
Mm-hmm.
don't know. I think she's just like, don't bail out the crypto billionaires,
Got it.
which is probably a little bit misleading of a way of thinking about how things work.
Got it.
Um, So the CME actually just announced that they're going to be enabling 24/7 cryptocurrency trading in the futures market starting May 29th. Now, the CME is the large futures venue in the United States, or they own the venues. And so futures already technically trade 24/5. Uh, and really 23/5. There's a 1 hour gap that happens throughout the day, Monday through Friday, or technically Sunday night through Friday. And with these futures contracts, these are derivatives markets, right? So you've got the spot market for Bitcoin, which trades 24/7 on crypto exchanges. But then you have the futures market, which is where a lot of institutions are more likely to participate because they don't have to own the underlying thing to play
Mm-hmm.
around in the pricing mechanism of this whole thing, is where those people are taking place on the futures market. So this idea of having a 24/7 futures market for cryptocurrency is a very, very, very interesting thought. We've definitely talked about this on my channel about like 24/7 trading of crypto means that when you're sleeping, you can have some crazy things that might happen in the markets, and then you wake up to especially in the futures market, positions being liquidated.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, crazy manipulative moves that can happen. But that's 24/7 for crypto period. But now you're talking about for the institutions to be able to do this over the weekends as well. So anyways,
It
that
definitely
is
seems like that's where things are moving.
yep. 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 Um, a little bit of stuff on Polymarket because it's just the talk of the town at the moment. Right after we got off yesterday, Kyla Scanlon had actually responded to the CFTC chairman's thing where he came out and he said, we talked about it in the last episode, he talked about how the CFTC has full jurisdiction over prediction markets. This is like helpful for pricing and information discovery and so on. And then Kyla Scanlon Huge, awesome person. She should definitely come on the pod. Come through, Kyla. We'd love to have you. And she talked about she just posted a chart, rather. That's all she did. And it talks about the world of wagers. And basically, because in the video he talks about how this helps with elections and like understanding what's going on with that. And then you can see here that actually know all of the notional volume almost on Kalshi is actually mostly for sports.
Wow. That's insane, man.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
also just, I don't even think it's good for sports either, because the more that gambling gets involved, the higher likelihood of this stuff becoming even more fake becomes a thing.
100% WWE, uh,
WWE, it's actually, I'm glad you brought that up because on last
uh,
episode we talked about Logan Paul a bit, and I forgot
yeah.
that he was a big recurring character in WWE. So he definitely has fans from that. Like WWE people are like very loyal, big fans.
Yeah. Yeah. I see what you're saying there for sure. So you corrected yourself on that one, or at least added some extra
Yeah.
context.
Well, yeah, he's got probably new people that he could run a similar playbook.
Yeah, that's true. Um, if you're enjoying this was actually taken out of a piece of our live stream where we go live every Tuesday and Thursday at 12 p.m. Eastern. If you want to see the full version of this episode, you can click the link in the description down below. But for now, back to the clip. Yeah, interesting stuff there, man. So, moving deeper into this, there's also a new development happening with these prediction markets. You've got Bitwise Invest filing for prediction market backed ETFs.
What does that even mean?
I have no idea. And so Eric says he's the senior ETF analyst at Bloomberg. And it's so interesting how this is so deeply tied into the crypto thing, right? Because Bitwise is a crypto ETF issuer. And so, okay, wow. So this is the prospectus you can see here has prediction shares for individual bets. How interesting is that? So you would have an ETF that has specific bets in it, and you would be buying, I guess, the yes or the no of the specific bets by buying the ETF. Fascinating. So Eric said, and they're off. Round Hill's filing on Friday sets off a prediction markets ETF race. So they're not the first ones to do this. Granite Shares and Bitwise has also jumped in to create these prediction shares ETFs. Fascinating.
It's crazy.
So prediction markets are coming to Wall Street. And that's even just through the ability to invest in them. But there's also all other stuff regarding, obviously, the liquidity of those platforms as well. But moving on, Amazon has officially surpassed Walmart as the world's largest company by revenue, reporting $716 billion in 2025 sales. What do you think of that, Ben?
That's not surprising at all. Because I do think that like, the whole you go to Walmart to save money thing, I feel like Amazon, through efficiencies of distribution, has gotten to a point where there's usually products on there that aren't available in Walmart and are cheaper and are almost the same as what would be in Walmart. So I think obviously it's the place where you'd still go if you're getting a lot at one time, but that individual purchase that people typically would have gone to Walmart for, I think they've gotten the vast majority of people to become accustomed just going to Amazon. But I even have that when
Mhm.
I tried to go look for a physical product in Walmart, and then even they were like, "Oh, we don't have it. Try Amazon." Or like how many times does that happen? Then the habit just gets formed. And then also kind of tying into what we said about Gary Vee, where Amazon will always try to push you to make the purchase on a repeat subscription.
Mm,
So you can already set up your life a lot like that if you want. Like if you're going
true.
through shampoo every 2 months or whatever, you could set it up to auto buy.
Right, right. Yeah, I figured what you would say was that I'm surprised that it took so long.
Yeah, truthfully.
And I saw something about this recently around Walmart and like how they actually saved themselves from being bankrupt in the first place by going so deeply and heavily into e-commerce, right? Because
Well,
that's the
you said
only reason.
Walmart did?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, they tried to. I don't think they've been as successful as they wish because they kind of tried to open up like a marketplace where you could sell your own things through Walmart branding. And I think
Mm,
personally it was bad for brand because they didn't handle it well. Because
mm,
the seller got to pick the price, but people didn't understand that it was a marketplace. They felt like it was coming from Walmart.
right.
So when you go in there and you see protein drinks that are like $100 because the person's trying to play a supply and demand game because they're hard to get in a lot of places.
Right.
That makes it look bad for Walmart because the expectation wasn't really communicated very well. Whereas everyone knows that when they're buying shit from Amazon for the most part, it's not from Amazon. Amazon's a
Mhm.
distributor. I
Right.
do think people think they're buying from Walmart a lot of the times and they're buying from sellers.
That's actually so interesting that Amazon did that so artfully.
Like the creating the distinction.
Yeah,
Mhm.
but I guess because it was from inception that it was like that? I
That was
don't
the
know.
concept.
Yeah.
Yeah. That it's just a different buying behavior. I think that the in real life experience also will taint the ability to understand that, right? Because when I see Walmart
Yeah,
trucks everywhere and then I go to the
that's true.
Walmart store, it's difficult for when I'm on the Walmart website that this
True.
isn't Walmart.
Mm,
Do you know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah.
because I think the physical location changes that a lot mentally for people.
Super true too. Yeah. Um, but outside of that marketplace, I mean, they've definitely moved, some significant portion of their sales to their e-commerce platform,
Totally. Yeah.
which has allowed them to just, once again, not have had this situation happen a
Happened
lot earlier.
earlier. Yeah, and they're definitely still doing fantastic. Like a lot of people, it's just kind of become their default grocery store too. That was a
Mhm.
big move that they pulled off pretty well. Was that they really focused more on grocery, so that there was one stop shop for everything over the last few decades. And now it's like people can't even afford to go to a lot of the grocery stores that they used to go to, so they just say, "We'll go to Walmart."
Yep. Um, so this one right here is super interesting. So there's been this huge, uh, thing happening in the private credit markets where essentially there's a bunch of in-kind redemptions or whatever that are happening where private credit funds aren't doing a very good job of, paying out their investors without raising more money to pay off their investors. It's kind of crazy that they're just able to do that, by the way. Um, but essentially, private credit is a side of the private institutional markets where you have private equity, which is technically a larger term that encompasses all of this. But private equity, where you raise money from institutional investors and you take that and you go out and you buy companies, you buy equity in companies. Private credit is where you raise money from institutional investors and you go out and use that money to lend to companies. And so the private credit industry has just been going through a lot of stress lately where people are like, wait a minute, do these guys actually have money? Are they making money? And the thing about private funds, private investment opportunities is that the major problem that you're always going to have with them is what's called liquidity or illiquidity of these funds, right? So you're giving money to a fund and they're saying, okay, we're going to take this money, we're going to go out and use it to invest. And so you can't like just get your money back at any point in time because I need to use that money to go out and make an investment. And only when that investment starts to get a return will I be able to then make distributions to you so that you can start to slowly get your money back. But just pulling your money out isn't really something that's going to work here,
Got it.
right? So private credit is flashing a warning sign that hasn't been seen since the great financial crisis, where a company and a fund called Blue Owl Capital permanently halted investor redemptions at its retail private credit fund, OBDC2, backtracking from an earlier plan to reopen withdrawals. So the fund has been closed to redemption since November 2025 after a failed merger that would have forced investors to take a negative 20% hit if they were to be able to withdraw at that time. Now, Q3 redemptions in 2025 had doubled at that time, or 6% of the net asset value of the fund, which forced the firm to sell $1.4 billion in credit assets across three different funds. And so the $1.4 billion portfolio sold spans, okay, though it has 128 companies across 27 industries with 13% of the loans concentrated in internet and software businesses, sectors increasingly vulnerable to AI disruption as well. So some of the story is tying back into this AI conversation. And so essentially, this is one of the first times that this has happened where a company or a fund manager is continuously not actually issuing any redemption to their investors. And so this guy says when a fund stops letting investors leave, it's no longer a liquidity issue. It's not just that we need the money to go make the investments. It's actually becoming a solvency question of are we ever going to be able to pay you back? Right. So that's
Yeah,
something worth
I think there's
watching.
gonna be more and more of that across a lot of sectors. So yeah, that's definitely fascinating to see. And do you have anything else to add on that?
No, no.
It's crazy. Yeah, yeah. I'm seeing some back and forth, some good discourse on prediction markets in general too, where Roman said, "You're missing that prediction markets increase the knowledge to be taken into consideration when making decisions. They funnel insider knowledge to the public. It's a good thing." I I I think that has truth to it, but I do think that it is more of a societal net con, in my opinion, in terms of because what it leads to. I think that's right. Like, I think that that is a thing. Obviously, it was perfect at predicting the elections, which
Right.
is which is pretty, which was a great marketing tool.
Yeah. I think maybe that, like, at the time, that was the only thing that was, like, allowed, from what I understand. Like, that was what it was. Okay, and I think that that's the only actual use case that does not lead to the deterioration of society. And by the way, like, we're not arguing against prediction markets, really. We're arguing or for me, I think the problem is the widespread access to them to individual retail people who don't understand how any of these markets work.
Yes. So, because like, is the benefit actually hitting the people that you're saying it's benefiting?
Exactly. Exactly. Like, no, that's an institutional product that you're referring to. Okay. And that's where a lot of that needs to stay. Why are we betting on Jesus coming back, brother? Like, do you really think that that's necessary? Like, I don't think that that's an information asymmetry.
Yeah, I think it's definitely a complex problem, but I also don't think it's that complex. Like gambling is very addictive, and you're opening up so many people to an addictive thing that probably would have never been subjected to it. Your mic is cutting out. Is that mine or Keith's?
Let me know which one it is.
Yeah, prediction markets, they're almost impossible to avoid. I had another news story in here that they just signed a deal with Substack or a
Yeah.
partnership, whatever, so that now writers can include the specific numbers within their articles.
Yeah. It's very interesting. What are
I'm
your
assuming
thoughts
it'll
on it?
be like a widget where you
Yeah,
can
that's what I'm thinking.
embed it into the article so that
Mhm,
it moves in real time.
mhm, mhm.
And again, they're also saying why that's so good for us. I think it can make the content potentially more interesting. I can also see it be really funny if someone makes a prediction and the market goes the complete opposite way. I feel like the comments will be pretty crazy there.
Yeah. Yeah, man. If you're enjoying this, this was actually taken out of a piece of our live stream where we go live every Tuesday and Thursday at 12 p.m. Eastern. If you want to see the full version of this episode, you can click the link in the description down below. But for now, back to the clip.
Got a question
Yeah,
for you
so
here, Keith. He
I was
said,
looking at that.
or they said, Keith, I heard a lot of corporate debt this year with needs to be restructured on loans are maturing. Will that be the issue that relates to private credit?
So it's likely a separate issue, right? I mean, you have two different markets. You've got public debt and private debt. So I haven't like heard about the corporate debt needing to be restructured. There's a lot of sovereign debt that's going to be restructured this year. That's the big headline with the US needing to restructure around $10 trillion of its debt. That's the real pressure that's in the debt markets this year. So I wouldn't be able to tell you if that relates to private credit or not.
Got it.
Yeah, cool. I've got a couple other things, nothing too major, but the situation with the United States and Iran continues to go on. Last time we had an announcement of an announcement that things were moving in a direction. This time we have something kind of similar, but instead, as tensions mount between the two countries, the US president addressed his so called board of peace. I didn't see that they said that. That's pretty wild. And he said, maybe we're going to make a deal with Tehran. You're going to find out over the next probably 10 days. And people said that he's going to make a decision in 10 days of whether or not they're going to strike Iran, which I think is a little bit sensationalist for what we got out of the actual quote. But maybe over the next 10 days, we'll have a better idea of what's going on in Iran. Probably, maybe. This next one is pretty wild, guys, because look, we don't really talk politics, all right? Don't come here just to talk politics. But we have a story right now that's happening in the world that spans across everything, all right? And it's really hard to ignore it. And someone just got arrested. Ben, did you see that
No,
Prince Andrew just got arrested for his connection to the files?
I didn't see that.
Yeah.
Your camera went, by the way.
Oh, no. Oh, no. So, what are your initial thoughts on that, Ben?
Uh, Andrew Windsor, formerly known as Prince Andrew, arrested for Epstein connection. I always, I've seen Polymarket say stuff that was inaccurate before.
That's a
So
real story, though.
that's real.
Yeah.
Okay, interesting. W- But arrested where?
In the UK, I think, but
Mm,
I think that is a good question. Um, so arrested in the UK over ties to the files.
interesting.
Suspected misconduct in public office revealed in the files.
Mm,
So, and I guess he's the former Prince Andrew. I don't really know what that means. Why is he a former prince?
I don't know. I really don't follow the royal family. I think it's kind of wild.
Anyways, um, the crazy thing is that like Donald Trump actually called him out 11 years ago,
Saying
and there's
what?
a clip of it. Should I should I pull it up?
It's your call, buddy. Do your thing.
Anyways, he did. He called him out. He was asked about this in 2015. It looks like, and Trump basically said, "Well, I don't know anything about that guy, but just ask Prince Andrew about it." Hey, you made it to the end of the clip. That means you're probably enjoying this. And if so, just know that you can catch us live every Tuesday and Thursday at 12 p.m. Eastern. And if you want to see the full version of this episode, you can click the link in the description down below. Otherwise, YouTube thinks that you will enjoy this next.